This is Coach Myrna Young, lifestyle entrepreneur and certified professional coach, and you are listening to the Transform Your Mind to Transform Your Life radio hour and podcast. I believe it takes a mindset shift to take you to the next level in your career, your finances, relationships, health and fitness, or happiness. So, your journey to manifesting your goals and desires starts now. Transform your mind to transform your life. This is the Transform Your Mind to Transform Your Life radio hour and podcast. I'm your host, Life Coach Myrna Young, and in the guest chair today is Traci Thomas. Traci is the author of Reflection for Rejection, Surviving a Mother's Abandonment and Abuse. Welcome, Traci.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be here.
Yes. Well, thank you for being a guest on the show. I have had a lot of topics on abandonment and abuse, so I'm going to enjoy talking to you. It's a subject that's near and dear to my heart, being a foster mom and an adoptive mom. So I have had a front row seat to what happens when, a mother abandons or abuses their children. So I'm going to enjoy hearing your story, and I'm glad that you have decided to share your story to others so that they can be healed or they can get some kind of insights on what happens. And even mothers that are in this space, maybe, you might give them some insights. So before I bring on Traci, I quickly researched the topic of children who were abandoned. And I understand that one of the things that happens is called abandonment child syndrome. And Wikipedia gives the definition of abandoned child syndrome. And this is what it says. Abandoned child syndrome is a proposed behavioral or psychological condition that results primarily from the loss of one or both parents or sexual abuse. Abandonment may be physical, that is, the parent not present in the child's life, or emotional. The parent is there, but the parent withholds affection, nurturing, or stimulation. The abandoned child syndrome is not recognized as a mental disorder. Now, it goes on to say that parents who leave their children or when a child is alienated from a parent, either by a bitter divorce, DCHS, or foster care, it can cause psychological damage to the child. The damage is reversible, but only with appropriate assistance. Abandoned children may also suffer physical damage from neglect, malnutrition, starvation, and abuse. So that was my preamble. So now, Traci, my first question I have for you is, can you share your story and tell us why you wrote the book, Reflection for Rejection, Surviving a Mother's Abandonment and Abuse?
Absolutely. Again, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on your show. With that being said, it's such a unique, unusual, weird, inhumane space to be in, but nonetheless, it serves such a great purpose. And what I mean by that is the following. It's one of those preambles whereas once you have survived this type of neglect, you pretty much can walk on water. And I mean that literally and figuratively. It's one of those scenarios and situations where very few people over and or understand you. So you're in your own community. And it's isolating, but yet you're so powerful at the same time. With that being said, once you overcome this, because it is a challenge, that's an understatement. It's a lot to muddle through. However, once you get through it and you're on the other side, there's nothing you can't do. So in my situation, it's like I had a bipartisan. I had two scenarios, two lives coexisting at one time. So I had a father who had full custody of me once I was 3 years old. That's when my natural mother and my dad were divorced. And back in 1968, because I was born in 1965, that was unheard of within the United States. Very few fathers gained custody of their children, of their child. So that in itself is a profound statement. So that shows you how little fight my natural mother put up. I do remember one particular time she did, quote unquote, kidnap me. She did take me when I got off the school bus when I was in kindergarten, and she took me to Philadelphia. And thank God my father, he and the FBI came and rescued me. But even when she so-called put forth some effort to show that she wanted me, it was still a situation where I was locked up in a room. You know, there were German shepherds downstairs, and the FBI had to come and get me. She never really exemplified that she wanted me, and that's okay, and that's what I explain in the book. It's perfectly okay because I define what it is, and it's a supernatural definition. So for those of those individuals that are in your listening audience who have gone to this scenario, or you know someone in this situation, I actually give you hindsight, definitions, elaborations, and explanations as to what's going on, what's happening, why your natural mother acts the way she does. It took me 50 years to figure it out, which is sad, but at least I figured it out.
Okay, all right. So that was a very different story than I expected. So your abandonment came from divorce, and I understand what you're saying, that it was unheard of, because either the mother had to be proven to be incompetent. That's the only way the father can get the child. So I understand what you're saying with that.
Especially in the 1960s.
Right, I know, exactly.
You have to remember the time period.
Yeah, I know. This is basically, it's true. I think it's even to some degree still going on, maybe even in, now, because the courts always still try to give the parent to the mother. If the parental rights are terminated from the mother, you have to show due cause. So I understand that. And I also understand when you say that most children would have felt that, hey, my mother kidnapped me. That means she really loved me and she wanted me. But then you're saying that, you didn't say it out loud, but I'm assuming that you're saying that even when she did, she didn't show you any nurturing and any love. She just locked you up in a room, correct?
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So that didn't help you with that particular case. But, okay, so your book is called, all right, so, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So next question is, I think you explained to me a minute ago is why you wrote the book. You wrote the book because you wanted to give women some hindsight. But before we go there, I want to comment on something you said that's a little different from my normal association with abandonment. So you said it took you about 50 years to get to the other side, and it's very isolating. But once you get to the other side, you can walk on water, which is a very, very positive spin. I like it. Because if you were to take a survey of this community, and you were right, this is a very unique community, but you will find that most kids end up having a lot of self-esteem issues. They don't think they're good enough.
Exactly.
They never had that nurturing love, so their life is a mess. So
that's exactly correct.
But you said you can walk on water, which is something that I have never heard. So you want to explain that?
What I mean by that metaphor is the following. When you feel, well, when you are abandoned, not when you feel abandoned, but when you are, because it's not your imagination.
Right.
When you make every effort imaginable to connect or contact your natural mother, and via every single scenario, every single attempt, every single effort, every single energy that you put forth, the end result is just this repellent. It's this rejection of your natural mother not wanting you, or the natural mother treating you as if you're a bill collector, where the natural mother is literally tolerating you but can't wait to get you off the phone.
Wow.
When you're in a scenario like that, and again, as I said, only those that have been through this can relate. And no offense to anyone else in your listening audience, because it's so bizarre. But the only people that can actually understand my language and my vocabulary and my explanations and my story are those that have been through it. It's a very unique, pivoted, targeted audience. And it's sad but true. I'm just being extremely honest and transparent. But those that are in the listening audience that have experienced this scenario, they totally get it. So once you've been in a situation where you've made every, like somersaults, headstands, backflips, anything you can think of to connect with your natural mother, and every single attempt is unproductive, and it's counterproductive, and it's toxic, and it's unhealthy because of the way that you feel afterward. You literally feel as if you've been punched in the stomach with every single attempt. And you're in tears, and you're shaking, and you have anxiety. And then you go through life thinking that you've got to kiss every behind in the universe. Like, you know, you have this feeling of inadequacy, this feeling of I'm not good enough, there's something wrong with me. That's why I wrote the book, because I do not want another human being going through 5 decades of what I went through. That's why I engineered and composed the book.
Yes, I understand that. But what you're saying is after you become immune to the rejection and you get on the other side, I mean, that's my interpretation of what you're saying. When you get to the other side, then you feel empowered. You can walk on water. Nobody else has the capability of hurting you. Is that what you're saying?
That's an understatement, but you don't have an edge. That's the irony. You know how you have some individuals that have this disposition in their personality where they have this, you know, this barter or this, you know, this cage or this, you know, this abrupt personality. They're mean, they're angry. You won't have that once you read the book, because you'll completely understand what's going on, and it has absolutely nothing to do with you.
It's true.
Nothing.
Yeah. Okay, yes, that is very true. All right, so you wrote the book for people who are in the community of being rejected by their moms. Can this scenario be also transferred to people that are rejected, period? I mean, because rejection is not only, synonymous with moms or parents. You know, men can reject you, friends can reject you, you know, jobs can fire you. Is the information transferable?
You know, ironically and theoretically, I'm so glad that you proposed that question. What I tell in the book, and this is under the collaboration of what I'm talking about when I actually use the word, when I actually unify the book and I actually speak of definitions. And I think a lot of times as human beings, our definitions are incorrect. Some of the definitions are ambiguous, where it means different things to different people. But in this specific category, you know, that's why it's so pinpointed. That's why I placed the laser on this particular relationship. between the child and a natural mom.
Mother. Okay.
Okay. This, ironically, is not rejection. And if you read the book, you'll totally comprehend what I'm speaking about. What the natural mother is doing, the natural mother is not rejecting you. The natural mother is rejecting the reminder of neglecting you. The natural mother doesn't even know you. Do you follow what I said? Now, okay, but how can somebody reject you and they don't even know you? That makes absolutely no sense.
Okay.
You only reject, even a job, even a potential employer, they kind of know you because they have your resume. They have your portfolio, they have your profile, they have your personality, they have your work history, they have your relationships, they have your reports. So they legitimately can reject you. They make an assumption via their human resources department, their staffing, their employer entourage, and their team that, you know what, this person isn't really a fit right now because our purpose is to make additional revenues. So we want to make, 10 million US dollars this year, and we don't really think this person has the skills or talents that merge with what our agenda is for the next 12 months as far as our projections. That's a legitimate rejection because they don't know you, but they do know you on paper because what's on your profile, what's on your job resume, what's on your scenario as far as your foot map shows your experience, your capabilities, your talents, your desires, and your abilities. So that's a legitimate rejection if it's hands down. You know what? We'll pass. That's a rejection. In the case of a natural mother, the natural mother doesn't even know you. How can she when she hasn't even been around you. So how can she know you? She doesn't know you on paper. She doesn't know you on 3D. She doesn't know you in a movie. She wouldn't even know you if you walked through the door, for the most part. She may know you as far as physical characteristics, but how can you reject a person that you don't even know?
Okay.
Isn't that a rhetorical question?
Well, it's a different spin on it.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm understanding what you're saying, and you're very correct that a rejection from a natural mother, and I'm glad that we're identifying natural mother and not adoptive mother or aunts or somebody, a mother figure, but a natural mother.
We're talking about a natural
mother. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a totally different
it is,
thing.
Isn't it? Very innovative, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And there's not. You're correct. There's it's hopefully it's not a large community, but I understand what you're saying. But I always like I said in the beginning, I'm a foster mom, and I have been I'm no longer a foster mom, but I used to be a foster mom. I adopted, girls that been through the same scenario that you were talking about, and they haven't gotten to the other side yet because they're now they're going to be 18 in a couple of weeks. But I have seen the damage.
Probably because they don't have the information and the data.
Right.
I didn't have it either.
Right. But what I'm saying
I didn't have it either.
Right. What I'm saying is that I've seen the trauma that it has caused on their lives in almost every aspect. So it's kind of good to tell yourself that your mom didn't reject you, because if you actually do believe that, I can understand what you're saying, how it's easier to get to the other side. So that's good. That's good. I like that. I like that spin, and I can see if your book agenda is to showcase that. That is actually a very good agenda. Is that the agenda that you want to portray in the book?
My objective is for someone to have an open mind. And instead of going through life saying, you know what, my own mother didn't want me, which is true, she didn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's absolutely true. But I'm also saying that you have every right and privilege to not want her also. And this is what's really fascinating. Okay, see, power is something you take. Nobody gives you power. You snatch power. And so what I wish to do with the work, with the writing that I composed, is to allow an individual to look at this in hindsight. You know, let's just really look at this and put an autopsy and microscope on this for a second. And if you really do this, it's not hard at all. You won't have to go through all these dog and pony shows and tailspins and kissing this one's tail and doing backflips for this person and making this person love you, and you're trying to buy this person, oh, please love me, please like me. You won't have to go through all of those mental gymnastics. It's not necessary. I'm trying to save somebody 50 years. That's what I'm trying to do, 5 decades. Because it's like a contagion. It just keeps going and going and going and going because it's subconscious, and you don't even realize what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, it's very good. I mean, I can see that this book would be doing anybody that really reads it and interprets the message. That's a really good message. Awesome. All right. So great start. Let's take our first break to hear a word from our sponsors. And when we come back, we are going to dive a little deeper into the psychological effects of abandonment that Traci had for 50 years until she got over to the other side. Keep it locked. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Do you need a loan or rent an apartment, but you don't have a credit score? Do you have a credit score, but it's low? I would like to tell you about an amazing free service offered by Kickoff. Kikoff. They build credit for free. No interest, no fee, no credit pull, no bank account or credit card required. Their customers who had zero credit were able to get a 600 plus credit score in 30 days. Kickoff is an official member of all 3 major consumer credit bureaus and will establish your credit history with all of them. It is a mission-driven company backed by social impact investors. Credit building should be free, and now it is. Build your credit and receive free credit scores at Kickoff's website today. That's Kickoff without the C. So KIKOFF.com. That website again is KIKOFF.com. Innovative Kickstarter campaign aims to enable the next generation to make smarter career choices. CareerDiscovery.net is an AR-based 3D printed collectible that works in tandem with a smartphone app. It's the first of its kind. This device is designed to eliminate confusion and provide clarity in selecting the right career paths for students. So, students can invest their time and resources in the right courses and land better jobs. One of the most exciting pieces of our pilot space program is the Space Explorer figurine. We're giving this program to Kickstarter backers at a much discounted rate. This futuristic Space Explorer is scannable and activates the space module in our augmented reality app. Check out this game-changing Space Explorer on our campaign page, www.kickstarter.com. That is KICKSTARTER.com. CandiceBeverages.com is family-owned small business that specializes in promoting a healthy lifestyle. Our flagship product is the hibiscus tea. The tea comes in various flavors, including cinnamon, strawberry, pineapple, classic, and mango. Hibiscus tea is packed with antioxidants, and it helps with regulating blood pressure, lowers your blood fat levels, and also help fight bacteria. In this age of the coronavirus, have a sip of tea loaded with antioxidants to promote a healthy body. Visit us today at www.canisbeverages.com. That is CANISBEVERAGES.com. Canis Beverages, you are what you drink. In this season of the coronavirus pandemic, masks can save lives. There is a worldwide shortage of masks. I saw healthcare workers making their own masks. Chinabags.com has lots of disposable face masks available for sale for immediate delivery. Check out their N95 mouth mask that protects against dust, pollution, and germs. Their military-grade washable cotton mask, the KN95, has activated carbon filter and is a breathable mask for germ protection. Head over to Chinabag.com to order now. Wholesale quantities also available. That's CHINABAG.com, and stay protected during this pandemic.
Welcome back to the Transform Your Mind to Transform Your Life radio hour and podcast. I'm your host, Life Coach Marie Young, and in the guest chair today is Traci Thomas. Traci is the author of Rejection for Rejection, Surviving a Mother's Abandonment and Abuse. And if there's ever a topic that we would transform your mind and transform your thinking, is this topic today. Traci has been telling us in the first segment how she survived neglect and got over to the other side and took her power back so that now she feels that she can walk on water. So it was a very eye-opening intro to our topic today. But now I want to ask Traci, to dig a little deeper. Before she got over to the other side, how was she affected? So you mentioned, Traci, that every time you tried to communicate with your mom or trying to make her love you or trying to form a relationship, you felt that you got punched in the stomach. At those times, were you ever angry at her? Other than feeling, like you were punched in the gut and, rejected or, did you ever get angry?
This is what's so interesting. I got angry at the end. Like last year. Yeah, last year, and it goes in chronological order in the book. I actually highlight the events that have occurred during the last 5 decades. And what's so flabbergasting to me is I didn't get angry and livid until the very end when I put an end to it. And I wasn't angry at her. I was angry at me for participating. I was so livid at myself for wasting so much time that it took me it's been about a year since I just let it go. It took me this long just to breathe. It took that long just to come down from the humiliation, the frustration, the hurt, the pain, the disappointment, the monotony, the redundancy. It took a year just to come down and just relax and inhale and exhale. It took me a while. But I was angry at myself, not her. Remember, no one gives you power. You snatch power.
Okay. So how long ago did you write the book? How long was it published? Was the book the catharsis of this?
I wrote the book a month ago. The book is literally a month old.
Okay, all right.
And and
so you had released your anger by the time you sat down to write it.
That was the most therapeutic act that I could have done, was to put it in a book.
Yeah.
And to save another human being decades of being on this roller coaster. The book is more than just a cover, graphics, words, paragraphs, title, subtitle. It's more than that. I want that book to act as a shield, as a spiritual and psychological and physiological, economical shield. That's what I want that book. I want it to perform as such.
Okay. I like that, though. I like when you said that you're angry because you participated. You participated in chasing someone that didn't want you. So that's a hard way of putting it. So you participated, and I know you're saying that it's a special community, but I can say that women that chase after men might be in that same community. So so I think it's it's a larger community than you think.
Which is as I'm going along and as I'm getting feedback, that's what makes it so profound. Yeah. I guess with a natural mother, as I said, if you can overcome that most crucial and infuriating punch, then like I said, everything else is a cakewalk. Yeah. Because if you can overcome the natural mother's behavior, which is so outlandish and uncalled for and unwarranted and unexplained, if you can overcome that, then everything else is literally, it's just one more thing. And I don't say that with arrogance. I just say it with confidence.
No,
it's the
I understand
truth.
It's
just one more thing. It really is.
Yeah,
it's nothing.
I understand what you're saying, but then you also said that before you got to the other side, you were like telling everybody, "Oh, love me." You're like, probably like I would think like a little.
It's from one extreme to the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is where a lot of people stay. They don't get to the other side. They're just. In fact, like I said, I've had several guests on the show talking about this topic. And they usually go in abusive relationships because they have no self-esteem and, the same thing. All right. So that's awesome. So I think you explained to us before how you handled the rejection. So how did you get to reflection? Maybe we can look at that right now.
Well, that's what I call a mother transplant. When you no longer kiss tails to get along with people, but without an edge. I have to keep saying that because that's extremely significant, and it's mandatory and relevant that I keep saying it. Again, you have so many individuals who walk through life and they have this disposition about them, like they have this, this unwarranted barrier that, oh, you're not going to hurt me, and, I'm going to use you 5 times before you even think about using me, and, I've got this, and, I don't need a man, and, that kind of energy where, no one's going to hurt me. No. You don't even have to go through all those gears. You know what I mean? It's not necessary. You can be actually quite the reciprocal. You're more relaxed. You're more calm. You're so much happier. You wake up laughing. Of course you're going to go through struggles and obstacles and opposition because, after all, we're all here to learn, and then we literally get up out of here. I mean, this is just nothing but a huge classroom with 7 seas and continents and countries. It's just a big classroom. So we're all here to learn, but you don't have to go through the rest of your life with this quote-unquote edge, where you've got these scissors on your back and these razors where you've got to earn your respect and people need to know not to, infuriate you or intimidate you. It's not that serious. It just puts you in a disposition where you're at total, complete peace. It's quite the reciprocal.
So why did you call it a mother transplant?
I call it a mother transplant because once you realize why she acts the way she does, and I give a very thorough definition as to why, and a very, very complete, distinct explanation as to why she acts the way she does, once that clicks in your brain, a light bulb goes off and you're free. You're completely free.
So you're saying that all mothers that abandoned your children would be able to be put in a box and say this is why she acted the way she did?
I think there's a huge common denominator. Yes, okay. I agree. Okay. Yeah, but you have to remember, the mother, your natural mother, if she hasn't been around you, I mean, let's just think logically. If your natural mother hasn't been around you, she doesn't even know you. She can even, if I were to ask a child and the natural mother abandoned the child, the natural mother hasn't even seen the child in 10 years or even 5 years. If I were to go to the natural mother and say, what's your child's favorite color? Or what's your child's favorite food? Or does your child, are they afraid of horror movies? What is their favorite time to go to bed? Right. I doubt very seriously that natural mother couldn't even answer the most generic questions.
She wouldn't. Right.
Yeah, these are the most ordinary questions that she wouldn't be even capable or qualified to answer. Okay. So with that being said, how can you reject somebody that you don't know? That's my question for discussion. You can't. It's impossible.
Okay. No, but what I asked is, you're saying that you gave a pretty thorough explanation of why your mother did what she did to you, and you're saying that anybody that's listening that's in that community, or not listening, reading, that's in that community, will be able to transplant their mom into the situation, and I just wanted to know what is the common denominator? Why do you say that your mother behaved like every other mother that abandoned her child?
Okay, because, again, you can't reject somebody you don't know.
Okay.
And even, let's say, a woman, well, we're in the coronavirus mess at the moment, but back when things were, quote-unquote, normal, let's say you were to go out or you would go to a party or a club or a jazz scenario or a concert, and let's say you met a guy and you liked him, but he didn't like you. Well, he is rejecting you because there's something in you. He doesn't know you, but there's something physiologically that he doesn't like.
Right.
That's a legitimate rejection. And that's what I'm explaining in the book. I'm defining what a legitimate rejection is opposed to a quote-unquote perceived rejection.
Okay. So that's
because
why
you can't
it's in
reject
one box.
somebody you don't know.
Right. Okay. So that's why we're putting a box around it, so that Okay. Got you. All right. So so moving all right along. So I love your book title, which is Reflection for Rejection. So explain how you came up with that title.
It's so, I don't know, it's so enlightening because it makes you look at yourself. And I even state in the preface of the book, in the introduction, that it's not even about your natural mother. That's what makes it so profound. It's not even about her. If you really get mature and if you really grow up and if you really do the work, which it won't take you long, I'm condensing 50 years into 50 minutes.
Okay.
I was determined to do it. I refuse to let another human being go through this. Not if I have any power over the matter. I refuse. Not another human being to go through what I've been through. So if you really, really think about it, once you realize it has nothing to do with you, it has nothing to do with your natural mother, but it does have everything to do with you looking at yourself and figuring out what you like. And God brought you here for a reason. That's what it's about. You're here on the planet for a reason. For example, if you were to take an airline and you have to get, and I make this distinction in the book, you have to get to the beach, but you can only afford a deplorable airline carrier to get you there, okay? But you have to get to the beach because that's where all your friends are going to be. And you guys have to be there within a duration of 2 days. You don't have the funds, but yet you want to enjoy the beach. You get on the most cost-effective airline, which is completely absurd. I mean, the airline is horrible. However, the airline got you to the beach. You have to look at it that way, in that metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
And enjoy the freaking beach.
I like it. And I like the fact that you chose the beach because, yes, the beach is nice.
Yeah, no one talks about how they got to the beach.
Right.
Everyone's enjoying the beach.
Right.
You see the metaphor?
Yes, I like it.
See the analogy? Okay.
Yes. Okay. So the reflection, let me dive a little deeper. The reflection is reflecting that it's not about your mother. It's not about whatever. It's just about you and the fact that you're here on this world.
And why you are here. That's where the reflection needs to be.
Okay. And you have figured out that you are here so that you can help others, or what is?
Yes.
How did you end up?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. As I said, I'm a venture capitalist. And, you know, we do a lot of extraordinary, legal, lawful tactics where we help a lot of small businesses. Well, I kind of figured out why I'm here in the hemisphere. That's pretty obvious. And when you have clients calling you and they're screaming and yelling because, you know, you've fixed their credit in 5 days, opposed to them waiting for 5 years, and they're screaming and yelling because now they have a credit score of 801, you'll figure it out why you're here.
Okay.
That's where the focus needs to be, why you are here.
Okay. All right. Well, you're also pretty good. You speak very well, so you could be also here to be a speaker and be a motivational speaker and tell your story. And a lot of times people start off with books, and then they go and they start, you know, talking at events and things like that. So that could also be why you're here, you know. I feel that I'm here to give hope and encouragement because I also wrote my book, Out of the Snares, and, you know, A Story of Hope and Encouragement. That was my book. And it did tell my life story as well. And for a moment, I wanted to be a motivational speaker, and then I'm doing it on the radio now. But yes, we're all here for a purpose, and usually God gives us a story so that we can have a testimony. And I like the fact that you talked about coming through it is just like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. You've got to go through it. And when you get to the other side, then you can help others. So that is amazing. So I applaud you for that, telling your story.
And then by saving them, and most importantly, saving them the most valuable commodity that we all have, the one thing you can never get back, and that's time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
precious
for sure.
Time.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Well, let's take our second break to hear a word from our sponsors. And when we come back, Traci is going to tell us how we can get a copy of her book. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Want access to learning tools that will help you improve your life? Visit www.loyaldetermined.com. Loyal Determined offers online dating courses for both women and men, which are easy to follow and will help you improve your existing relationship or assist you in making your next relationship succeed. Loyal Determined also offers online math courses for students who want to sharpen their skills in courses like Algebra and Algebra 2 in an engaging and effective way. Loyal Determined is also constantly offering awesome new online courses to help improve your life, so be sure to check their website frequently. Visit www.loyaldetermined.com today.
Having computer problems? Let K-Maya get your PC or Mac issues resolved. We specialize in quick and reliable remote repair services. We can log on remotely and get your computer back up and running, or fix any issue you have in no time. And we are available 24/7. Visit us online at www.kmayainc.com/remote to book your appointment online, or call us today at 409-444-3012. K-Maya, tech made simple.
I would like to give a shout out to Millie Hall 666 on Snapchat. She is up and coming in the UK and would appreciate the ad. Check her out if you are interested in custom shoes. That's Millie Hall 666. That's MILLYHALL 666 on Snapchat. Ladies, if you're looking for premium luxury hair extensions and products, take a moment and check out myminghair.com. Ming Hair is your #1 premium virgin hair company for quality Indian and Brazilian hair, lace wigs, magnetic lashes, and custom hair and beauty accessories. We want you to look and feel your best, so we offer a wide array of styles, lengths, custom colors, bundle deals, and much more. We believe in customer satisfaction, which is why you earn rewards on every purchase. You will not be disappointed. Our hair is bouncy, luxurious, long-lasting, and stylish. Visit myminghair.com today and receive 20% off your first order and get exclusive access to other promotions. We look forward to making you a long-lasting customer with Ming Hair. That is myminghair.com.
Welcome back to the Transform Your Mind to Transform Your Life Radio Hour and Podcast. I'm your host, Life Coach Myrna Young, and in the guest show today is Traci Thomas. Traci is the author of Rejection for Rejection, Surviving a Mother's Abandonment and Abuse. So this has been a very enjoyable conversation that I'm having with Traci. I do like the fact that even though she has, been through, according to her, 50 years of rejection, even though she's not calling it rejection, but wanting her mother's love and going out of her way to facilitate that, and always coming away with the impression that her mom did not want a relationship. So in the end, she's come out very strong. I don't hear any kind of trauma or damage in her voice. So she's definitely on the other side. She definitely feels strong. She definitely feels confident. She definitely sounds like she's walking on water. So, as we wrap up, I want to ask Traci, for someone that's listening and, wants to go out and buy the book so that they can save themselves decades of time, what message would you give to that listener of why they should go out and get the book?
It would be in their best interest, even if they don't get the book, if they just listen to what I'm saying because it summarizes the book. It's their prerogative if they wish to purchase it or not. I mean, that's their choice. But with that being said, don't ever allow another person, place, or thing, parentheses noun, don't ever allow a noun, person, place, or thing, to define your worth. Don't do that.
That's good.
Don't ever give someone that opportunity or luxury. That's something you're actually going to have to keep in-house at all times. You never give anyone that prerogative or that type of power that I mentioned before, that word power. And peace is equivalent to power. Peace equals power. And the way to keep your peace, and that's something you can't buy, by the way. I don't care how much money you have, you can never purchase peace. And that's your greatest gift right after time. They're like, it's time, and then peace is the runner-up. So those are two commodities that are your most valuable assets. You never, ever, ever give that away, ever, to anyone.
Yeah, so that is good. In fact, that's probably going to be my intro to this conversation, because that is actually very good. Do not ever, give away your power to anyone, because yes, if you give it away, a lot of times you can't take it back. So that should be the bumper sticker. So, it's unfortunate though that our community that we're targeting this conversation to has to go against something that's so natural, because there are mothers that would kill for their kids. There are mothers that would, like,
absolutely.
Me. Yeah, I'm, motherhood was such a beautiful thing for me that it's, I have lots of purposes, but that was my main thing. And I would tell you that my children has made my life so much worth it. So I'm one of the ones that enjoy a remarkable relationship with my kids. And so it's a very unnatural thing for a mother not to have to. Now, you didn't get into, I'm not sure if you did in your book, because for someone to go against that natural pull, especially a mother, because something physiological happens to moms when they give birth, which is why, the serial killers that's in the prisons, their mom is their biggest advocate, because she just doesn't give them up. You know what I mean? So, did you touch on the book? I know you talked about putting her in a box, that she didn't really reject you because she didn't know you, but did you touch on psychologically what's happening to her for her to have that unnatural response?
My father, God bless his soul, my father was extremely intimidating. He was a very wealthy, powerful, articulate, worldly. He traveled a lot because he was a computer programmer. So he was extremely, I guess, very controlling.
Okay.
So I give her an inkling of understanding, because he was pretty much a womanizer.
I mean, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so evidently there was something, and I'm not giving her a full 24-hour pass, but I am giving her an hour pass. You know what I mean? So I can kind of sort of understand why, she would have been reluctant in some ways to connect it with me, but I can't really give her a full 24-hour pass, because there are women that have gone through the same episodes and they didn't react that way. Yeah.
Yes. All right, Traci, this has been an amazing interview. I definitely love talking to you. You're a really great speaker. You're passionate about your work and your book, and I'm sure that any of the listeners or readers would be able to walk away with something very tangible and valuable from reading your book. So with that said, I know that your book is available on Amazon, but do you have a website or any place else that the book is available?
No, I just like to keep it very simple. It's literally just on Amazon, and it's available on Kindle and also in paperback. So you have two variations that you can purchase should you wish to do so.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, well, I'll also have a link on the show page, which is blog.myhelps.us, would link to the Amazon book. And also, the listeners, you guys can go to that same show page, and you will get a transcript of my interview with Traci. I want to thank you guys all for staying with us till the end. So hoping that you got some nuggets that one of the ones that I like that Traci said in the end there was that don't ever give away your, don't ever let another person define your worth, whether it's be a person or a thing, and that you are, you are enough, you are good enough, and it doesn't matter how someone else sees it, that you have to see it that you are worth it. So I want to thank Traci for being on the show and transforming our minds today on the topic of rejection. I like what she said, that people can't reject you if they don't know you. So that was one of the other things that I'm going to take away. And any last words, Traci?
Yeah. Again, thank you. I mean that wholeheartedly. And as we go through this crazy time, this coronavirus scenario, it kind of, I guess the blessing in the mess that we're in right now, I guess it kind of demands, and it also makes you think. And I guess this is a good opportunity to kind of define your definitions and maybe the way that you've been thinking, the way you've been living, the way that you've been interacting. It's a good time to do that right now. Now that a lot of us are confined, within the world, within our own spaces, it's an excellent time to take this opportunity to kind of elaborate and look over the way that you've been doing things, communicating, thinking, interacting, your relationships. It's a good time to kind of see which ones are valuable, which ones serve you well, which ones don't. And that's in every relationship, not only with your natural mother. But I just thank you. I just thank you for the opportunity to speak. It's been very, very nice, very kind.
Yes, very nice. Yeah, I enjoyed our conversation. And one word is reflection. And when you have time, and you should have a lot of it now, is you reflect. Yeah, and make some changes.
You have a lot of time to think right now.
And read a book, right? Yes, awesome. All right, well, listen, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the Transform Your Mind to Transform Your Life Radio Hour. I want to remind you to leave a review on iTunes, or if you have iTunes, and also so that you wouldn't miss any of our episodes, download on your favorite podcast. Head over to the show page. You will see a link to Traci's book, as well as any of the sponsors to today's episode. So until next time, namaste.
Thank you so much, and stay safe, everyone. Stay safe.
Yes, safe. Okay.